Hello and welcome to the Chem Lab at Stanford. What we want to learn today is how to dissect third instar lava from Drosophila. So let's see what we can do. So before we start, we need to take care of a couple of things. First would be forceps. I keep mine in this relatively cheap plastic case from Fine Science Tools. I think it costs $10 or so. And I need two straight forceps and one curved one. The straights are number 5 from Fine Science Tool, and the curved one is a number 7. The next thing would be how to set up our workstation. So what I do, I illuminate with a cold light source and goosenecks, and I make sure that actually the sheet of light is parallel to the table and illuminates through my 9-well Pyrex indentation slide that you see here. Moreover, I put 2 stacks of Kim wipes to the left and right because there's always all kind of gunk that sticks to the forceps, and I need some area to just get rid of this. Now we need to get our lava out of the vial and into our 9-well indentation slide that is here slightly out of the image you can see. So this is our vial with the third instars, actually late third instars. They have started to climb up on the wall. I remove the stopper, go in. This is where the curved forceps come into place. I go in, grab lava and put them into the 9-well. And I do this, let's say, for as many lava out of this genotype as I need. Very often I dissect something like 6 to 8 per genotype. So quite often there's a bit of gunk associated with the lava and you need to wash them. So what I do is I just put in a forceps, give them a swirl, and then I just grab them and try to transfer them into the middle well. And I do this for all of them. So that means here I collect, here I store the washed lava, and in this well I'm finally going to dissect. Okay, so here we have our third instar. While we have it on camera, maybe just look a little bit at it. So you can easily distinguish the head, the anterior end, from the tail, the posterior end. The 2 cables that run along on the dorsal side, so this would be our back, but in developmental biology we don't say that. So that runs along the dorsal side are the dorsal trunks. These are the main trachea of the tracheal system of the lava. The dark spot at the head are the mouth hooks, and this here are the dorsal trunks. Okay, so in order to dissect the lava, we need to first cut it in half. And for this I have a very stereotypical way to do it. So first I orient it to with the head around 2 o'clock. I grab it with my left hand at roughly 50% body length here, and then I lift the body up that it's in a right angle to my left hand forceps, like this, give or take, and then I pinch. So now I have the lava at a right angle in my left hand forceps. Now I come in with my right hand forceps and I use actually my left hand forceps as a guide rail, like this. And this ensures that my left hand and my right hand are approximately at a right angle. So I come in, pinch and rip. And now I have the anterior half of the lava in my right hand forceps. Now I turn the carcass, and maybe it's a little bit out of focus for you, actually for me too. Now I'll rotate that the head is pointing towards my left hand forceps, and I go in and I grab the anterior end of the lava and let go. The next step is to invert the lava. So with my right hand forceps, I grab lightly the cuticle of the lava and I pull it up the two prongs of my left hand forceps that also holds the lava, like this. And you see that I'm touching the cuticle now with both prongs closed, and I just pull it up along the prongs of my right hand forceps. Now the lava is inverted on my left hand forceps, and in order to get rid of it, I just slightly open and close the forceps and it slides off. So here's our inverted third insta lava, respectively the anterior half of it. You can either put this into fix right away and go ahead, or you can make it a little bit more pretty. One way to do that is to remove the salivary glands. Salivary glands are these almost transparent tubes. I'm pointing with my right hand forceps at it, that has a little strip of fat body, this opaque tissue running aside of it. So I grab one of it. So the salivary glands come in pairs. I grab it and I just pull it away. So this is one salivary gland, and I blot the salivary gland on my piece of tissue to the right, and here is the second one, which is a little bit more buried in. So I grab that and also try to pull it away. Of course, unless you are interested in the salivary gland, there's no reason to keep it. The second thing I do is actually with my right hand forceps, I go between the cuticle and all the organs here, and I kind of fold the organs over like this, that I can actually more easily fix it, like this. So while we are at it, we can look at a couple of things. Everything that is opaque and has a cobblestone pattern is fat body. Every white cable, let's call it that, is actually a part of the tracheal system. And deep down here, so I can only point at it, hold on, let me rotate this a little bit. This is the gut here, this tube with this almost tentacle-like arms here. So this will be the midgut that eventually makes it into the hindgut. The esophagus would be below my tip of my right hand forceps right now. So what you have seen, so this goes into fix. We are essentially done for dissection when you just want to fix every organ and want to look where your enhancer trap is expressed. Maybe one more word about the forceps. So I hold everything with my left hand and my left hand forceps, and that means that I rather prefer them to be blunt. So my left hand forceps, and I hope you can see this here, they do not really have a very well defined tip. As a matter of fact, there's nothing sharp to it. So that means everything I hold, I at least do not cut, and I do minimal damage. So this is why my blunt forceps is my left hand forceps, and I only use it for holding. My right hand forceps, in contrast, is the one where I do all the cutting and dissection with, and this one has a more sharp tip, and you can see that actually the tip closes on one particular point, and that means I can grab and pull very precisely with these forceps. I need to be a little bit careful because everything I touch I will very likely damage, and I need to watch out more where I put this thing. So let's do everything again, maybe just a little bit faster. So I grab a lava, here it is. Anterior end is to the right. I turn the lava roughly towards 2 o'clock, the head is at 2 o'clock. Grab it with my left hand at roughly 50% body length and pinch. Come in with my right hand perpendicular to the left hand forceps and rip the posterior end off. Turn the lava like the hand of a clock towards my left hand and grab the anterior tip of the lava and let go my right hand. Let go with my right hand forceps. So that means this is the lava here, and now I'm inverting the cuticle up the rails of my left hand forceps, and for this I gently grab it and push it up the prongs. Make sure that there are it's really inverted, that there are no crease left. There we go. And I open close my left hand forceps in order for it to slide off. There we go. This is our inverted third star instar lava, the anterior half at least, and we can proceed from here. So this is our inverted lava. I've zoomed in now. I think I'm at 2.5 magnification on this Zeiss SV6 dissecting scope here. Everything that blares white are some interior organs that are now actually exposed to the outside because we inverted the lava. To the left you can see our cuticle tube that we cut in half. A couple of things are out of focus, and I will try to point them out without going in there and make everything move. So what gets into focus right now is this little arc at around 12 o'clock of the lava. This is the salivary gland, or at least one of them. And the other one would be on the contralateral side, and this is somewhere buried under this big mess that you cannot see here. So what we will try right now is we will try to dissect the third interlateral brain free of all the organs and then finally dissect it out, and this is what you would do if you would want to mount the third interlateral brain. Alright, let's start. I go in. I hope that things are not moving too heavily on screen, which I cannot see right now. So first is I aim for the salivary gland, so at least one of them. This is this. And I try to pull as slowly as possible, because sometimes when you're lucky you get actually two of them, like this. So this is the pair of salivary glands. Let's get rid of this. The next thing I do is I cut all the trachea that hold this blob of organs here to the cuticle, and I do this by going in with my prongs and essentially just cut like this. And I grab the dorsal trunk, which is this big cable here, and pull a little bit. And I do the same with the contralateral dorsal trunk, like this. Alright. Down here is the gut, and this is actually what we would like to remove, and a lot of things just go with the gut once we get it out of the picture. To do so, I cut the dorsal trunk as close to the cuticle as possible, so here, and the contralateral side here. And now I try to actually grab the esophagus of the gut, which is this. Maybe you've missed this, and Actually, the camera has a different depth of focus as I have here on my oculars. So it's a very thin tube that connects the gut with the cuticle, and I just pull away. And you can see that a lot of things just go with it. Most of the inner organs are connected to the gut at this stage. This is a piece of fat body, we don't want that, so this needs to go as well. And now we have this little sliver of band here. This is the Drosophila heart. If you have the heart, or if you can see the heart, you still very likely have the ring gland, and the ring gland has the CC cells that are dear to our heart. So that's a good sign. Now we turn the cuticle around, and let me get this in focus for the camera. Hold on. Alright, so what do we see now? We see this here's the Drosophila heart. This structure and this structure is the Drosophila wing disc. So this is the structure that eventually will metamorphose into the adult wing blade. And I hope you can see this. This and this are the two hemispheres of the CNS. So the central nervous brain, central nervous system, sorry. And all these cables, let's call them that exit the CNS and the ventral nerve cord here towards the posterior are actually axon bundles that travel towards the posterior of the Drosophila larva. Alright, what I would like to do now is essentially get everything away from the brain that we do not need while it's still mounted or affixed to the cuticle by all these axonal projections that exit the brain. So let's do that. So this enables us essentially to use the cuticle as a handle and get everything away that we do not want. Okay, so let us see what we can do. Wing discs we don't need, so let's remove them. Wing discs are always accompanied by a haltere and a leg disc, so this is what I just removed here. Then every single round structure that is surrounding the brain is very likely a disc for legs or some other adult structure. So let's remove them. You just take it and it's essentially like plucking a very ripe strawberry. So everything is very soft and you need to be a little bit careful that you don't do too much damage, sorry. White thing here, cute is fat body, we don't need this either. So we have one more disc here, so I just shove aside the ventral nerve cord, grab the disc and pull it away. This will be much easier when the when your preparation is fixed, then everything is a little bit more stiff and you can operate a little bit easier. Okay, so now we have the CNS, right and left lobe, VNC, which is this structure here, and on top of the CNS are the eye imaginal discs, and this will be the future eyes of the adult fly. So we need to cut the optical nerve, which is this little structure I'm poking at right now. There are two of them. There's one here and one on the contralateral side here. So I do this with a single prong of my forceps. So I go in and maneuver my prong between eye disc and brain and just pull the eye disc away. And I've cut the optical nerve, and now I can grab the eye disc and pull it away. A little bit sad, it's a waste of a good eye disc that would make a beautiful mount all by itself. And we repeat the same thing at the contralateral side. So this here's the eye disc. I maneuver my prong between the brain and the eye disc, and I cut like this. So here I actually part of the optical lobe came off with the optic nerve, so I've damaged the right hemisphere of this brain. I take the eye disc away, and now I have a brain that is free of the eye discs, and now I can cut the brain loose. So it's attached by all these axonal projections, and I go between the cuticle and the ventral nerve cord and cut. Alright. At this stage, this and this are antennal discs. They are contiguous with the eye disc, and they are not further connected to the brain, and we shouldn't worry about this too much. So right now what I would try to do is to forklift out the brain from everything else. So therefore I maneuver two prongs under the brain, but I don't pinch, and I just pull like this. And here we have it. Drosophila CNS. Hold on. And I will refocus once I get my forceps out of this well. Okay, so let's lay it flat on the floor of the indentation slide. There we go. Okay. So here we have it, Drosophila third instar brain. The two round CNS hemispheres are clearly visible. So at, I would say, 11 o'clock are remnants of the ring gland that didn't go with the CNS and VNC this time. If this is fixed, the chance is much higher that you can take along the ring gland. All these, and you see these axon cables that are essentially exiting the ventral nerve cord at various points. There you have it, Drosophila third instar brain. Alright, so there you have it. Now you can all perfectly dissect third instar larva and know where the salivary glands are, where the brain is, how to dissect it out and everything. A couple of esoteric points at the very end. First of all, always breathe. You won't believe how many people stop breathing when they want to focus their attention on one thing, which is fairly effective for the first 10 seconds, and then they run out of breath and everything goes south. So don't do that. Relax, take deep breaths. Your hand will be most still when you are actually exhaling from a steady breath. Second thing is, maybe you're a little bit tense when you start to dissect. This will all ease with time, of course. One check if you are tensed or not, because sometimes you are and you don't realize, is wiggle your toes a little bit. When you can do that, you are loose and you can start to dissect. All right, all of you, good luck. Take care.